10 ways that Satan corrupts our language, 10 ways that Satan phrases that we hear, that we tolerate, of how Satan is able to come straight into our everyday conversations. 10 ways. Number 1, how often have you heard this? What I do doesn't really matter. What I do doesn't make any sort of impact. It doesn't matter how I eat. It doesn't matter who I associate with. This idea that your actions and your agency have no application to what you do, Satan loves that. In fact, this is a saying that's quoted a lot, but it's worth quoting again, is that Satan's greatest trick is convincing you he does not exist. He would love to have people believe that it's nothing more than a figment of your imagination. Number 2, how often do you hear this? Who cares? Who cares? God cares. Satan wants you to say, who cares? Whatever, who cares? Who cares whether or not, you save yourself for marriage? Who cares? It's not a big deal. Well, all of a sudden, if you're asking who cares, you're basically saying there's no divine. There's no one in charge. Basically, through your language are 2-liners right there. Who cares? Well, what a wonderful corruption or incredible corruption of language that Satan was able to do. Number 3, what difference does it make? We heard that most famously with Hillary Clinton, who was testifying in front of Congress with the 4 dead Americans in Benghazi. What difference does it make that 4 people? What's the big deal, honestly? Human life being lost? It's only 1 million abortions a year. Do you all of a sudden see how moral relativism becomes more acceptable with the language? Number 4, we're all dead in the long run. It's not like we live forever. Well, we actually do live forever as Christians. But how often do you hear, we're all dead in the long run. Your actions doesn't really mean anything. You're just a bunch of cells. It doesn't apply for you today. Number 5, which is my favorite. I'll spend a little bit of time here. Well, you see, Charlie, it's my truth. And I don't care about what you have to say. This is my truth. Now, I hear this all the time on college campuses. And I always chuckle when these people come up and they say, Charlie, you don't know what it's like to be judged by the color of your skin as a white male. It's like, you just judged me by the color of my skin. Like literally in that one statement, you said, I don't know what it's like, which is therefore a judgment. Anyway, the point is that this idea of my truth is everything the devil wants us to believe in. The devil said, I will 5 times in Isaiah. I will become the head of the earth. I will become the one I'm most high. I will govern all territory. I will. When you start to say, I have my truth, all of a sudden you say that everyone can have their own direction to be able to govern their life. How often do we hear that? Well, my truth is that I believe that there's no such thing as man versus woman. That does not make it true, though. Your own personal opinion is completely irrelevant to what is true in the world. And we as Christians have tolerated this my truth nonsense for way too long. Now, number 6, this is a hard one for Christians. I'm not going to spend this much time on it, but it's, if I'm forgiven, then why don't I just sin? A lot of young people say this to me. They say, well, Charlie, I'm forgiven, so if I sin, I could just go kind of use my get-out-of-jail-free pass later and just put it in. That right there makes me question whether you really understand or realize your salvation. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free card for you to be able to just kind of ravage the streets and prowl, and then all of a sudden when you need it, you're like, I need to kind of, can you make bail today? That's not how salvation works. It's a transformation and a renewal. Let me be very clear. You do not do good things to get saved. You do righteous things because you are saved. Once you are born new, then you want to push goodness into the world. But that's a devil line, isn't it? Oh, just sin because you say you're saved. Well, all of a sudden it's questioning whether or not you have that salvation altogether. Number 7, God doesn't care about me. Man, how could he let all this suffering happen into the world? How could he let all this terrible and tragedy occur? God doesn't care about me. What a way to all of a sudden start to shrink and to minimalize the world around us. Number 8, which is a very important one. Satan loves victims. Loves it when you start feeling sorry for yourself. He is the author and the master of your pity party. The next time all of a sudden you're bitter, he's the one that designed that whole feeling in you. The next time you're like, I'm a victim. I deserve something for how awful of a life I've had. I deserve something because someone said something bad to me. Or I'm a certain skin color. I deserve something because of that. Satan is the designer behind all of that. Instead, you're born new in Jesus Christ and you're a victor over your sin, not a perpetual people focusing on this victimhood mentality that tears people against each other. Number 9, we'll go back to our real Bibles, right? Satan is the chief author of invalidating the Bible, of deconstructionism. Bible's outdated. Bible doesn't apply. Bible, this is written by old people. They didn't have TikTok, okay? You realize they didn't have TikTok? You realize they didn't have the internet? How dumb they must have been. They didn't have vaccines. Losers! The truths of the Bible are as true today as they were when they were written. They are eternally true. And let me reiterate this, is that as soon as you start to tear apart the truths of the Bible, then all of a sudden you're going to start to fill those things with worldly things, not wordly things of the Word. And so when you pour into the Word and you believe it's the Word of God, all of a sudden it becomes a guardian for you. But what a great way to start deconstructing it. Because, and we were just talking about this backstage. Did you know in 1991, this according to Pew Research, 71% of all American churches believed the word of the Lord, the Bible, was inerrant and perfect. 41% of all churches believe that today in America. You want to know why we have the abortion, the vaccine, the school closure, all the stuff we've talked about? Why are all our political issues coming? And the church won't do anything. Bad politics comes from bad theology. Bad politics comes from bad theology. If all of a sudden you think this is nothing more than Poor Richard's Almanac, if you just think this is kind of a suggestion manual, like, oh, it's no different than the Odyssey. Yeah, it's no different than some sort of allegorical ancient tradition of where we pass down ways to kind of suggestions to live your life. This is Satan trying to debase the bride of Christ, trying to have you question and not have you have faith and follow what it always has been true. Number 10. This is probably my favorite on the entire list. I tell this to young people all the time, and they don't know. It's like they don't know how to deal with it, which is this nonsense of following your heart. Whoever thought of this garbage of follow your heart? Why do we ever put up with this? And by the way, I just have to, just as a side note, some of the Christian Pinterest community that posts this intersection of Oprah Winfrey style, Eastern meditative thought and half of a Bible verse. Whoever thought this was a good idea? Follow your heart, Jesus once said. That's not at all what he said. You follow God's commands is what you do. I mean, what kind of crazy nonsense is this? Follow your heart? You kidding me?